Hey everyone, welcome back in my new video. This video is about service workers. So in my previous videos I talked about web workers, what they are, how you can write your own web worker. And so in this one I will go ahead and talk about the service workers. So if you enjoyed this video or if you learned something new from this one, then please go ahead, give this video a like. And without wasting your time, let's take a look what I prepared for this one. So the service workers, you can think of a service worker as an additional layer between the browser, where your user interacts with, and the server we are communicate with. And so service workers are basically a JavaScript script which will be executed in the additional thread. So it will run in the background independently of your browser. And service workers are also some type of proxy to your network requests that are happening in the browser. So all the network requests that are coming out from your browser, you can handle them in a way you want and then send them forward to the server, or you can do whatever you want. Service worker cannot manipulate DOM elements. If you want to change something in the DOM elements, then you will have to communicate with the JS file where you have register the service worker and communicate with the post message method, which is the method where you can pass some data, or you can say to your file to change the color of the background or whatever you want. And the service worker has also his own life cycle. So in order to stop the service worker or delete it, you cannot only refresh the page, so you will have to do something else. And so let's take a look at the life cycle of the service worker. And the first step is the installation or the registration. And so if you want to register a new service worker, then you will have to access the navigator interface. Then you will have to access the service worker object and call the method of register. And as the argument, you will pass the name of the file in which your service worker exists. And if you will do this way, without any additional string in front of it, like in this example, then in this way, the service worker will catch all the network requests that are happening from the original domain. If you would like to catch all the requests from your domain name and then /user, then you will add to the user text inside the argument. And after the installation process, the service worker will, if you specify it will try to fetch something, and if it fails, then it stays in the error state, and after that it will try again to fetch something or to make it again until it succeeds. If it not succeed, then you will get an error. And after the activated status and after the idle time, so the inactivity of your user, the service worker will try to, if we specified event listeners, like for example for fetch event or the message event, then it will handle these events and it will basically go back to the idle state. If there is no fetch events or message events, event listeners, then the service worker will be deactivated. And so this is the life cycle of a service worker. So the first step is the installation process, After that, we can fetch something, and then the service worker will be activated. If it fails, it will try again until it succeeds. And when the service worker is activated, after the idle time, then we try to process the event listeners that we have specified. If there aren't any, then it will be deactivated and go back to the idle status. So this is the life cycle of the service worker. It's pretty straightforward. And how about the caching, the fetch results? So when would you like to fetch the results of your page? When the user visits your page for the first time, or when the user navigates to the different page, or when the user refreshes the page. And how you will do that? Well, you will retrieve the fetch events and the data that was passed to the header, and you will also want to match the existing cache if there are any, and if this cache is basically the same that the data that you are asking for. So let's take a look at a simple example that I prepared here for the service worker. So here you can see that I have a basic HTML page here, and I'm passing in the app.js file. Inside the app.js file, I'm basically just checking if the service worker exists in the navigator interface of the browser. And if it exists, then I will access the service worker object and pass the register method. And you can see that I'm passing in the SW, which is which will be this will catch all the network activities that are happening in the origin of the domain. And if the registration process succeeds, then I will receive a message. If it fails, then I will receive an error. And so this is the app.js file. Then let's take a look at the service worker. So here you can see that I'm adding an event listener when the service worker will be installed. Then I'm passing the event to the callback function, and I'm also accessing the wait until method. And what this method does is that it will wait basically when we want to install the service worker, then we are saying to the browser that it has to wait until it's done doing what we are specifying here. So this is basically a promise-based method, and so it will either give you a succeed promise of result of rejected. But we are saying here that you have to wait until it's done happening. And the second event listener that I'm specifying here is the fetch event. In the game, I'm passing the event object to the callback function, and here you can see that I'm actually changing the default behavior of the browser of the fetch event, and I'm accessing the caches in the browser, and I'm matching. I'm checking if the cache holds the objects that are with the name of the URL that we have specified to the fetching request. And if there are response, if this so we are passing in a promise, and if the response is the same with the files that we have in the cache, then we will serve the cache files. And so here you can see that I'm passing the console log serving a cache files. If the file doesn't exist, then I'm just fetching a new file. So I'm returning the fetch method with the URL from the event request, and then I'm passing in a promise. And so here you can see that I'm cloning, so I'm copying the response, because we need to copy one response for our browser to store it in the cache and another to serve in the browser for the user. So you have to clone the response, and after you clone the response, then we are opening the cache in our browser, and then we are putting the response, the cloned, the copied response, at the name of the request URL. And so let's take a look at the browser. And so let's take a look how it works. So here you can see that our cache storage is basically empty. And right now, if I will refresh the page, then I will get immediately my cache, which I specified here. You can see I'm passing in my cache. And so here I'm getting immediately 2 files, which are specified here. And after that, if I go to console, I get the fetching new files, because we have fetched, basically saved in the cache our files. And after that, the service worker was registered successfully. And if you would like to fetch a new files, let's say I'm fetching a file, so you can see that I get a message fetching a new file. And if I go to our cached storage, you can see that I'm getting a new cached file. And if I want to fetch it again, I get a message serving a cached files, because we are serving the same file that is stored in the cache storage. But if I delete this file and I will go back to the console, then I'm fetching a new file again. And so if I do it twice, I get the serving and cached files again and again and again, and so on. So this is basically a service worker in a nutshell. If you have any ideas for the new videos, or if you want to learn something new, then please leave this below in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Bye.